as promised, today I'll bring you color, and I will explain a little more deeper how color interferes with your life. Color is an important part of our daily lives. It influences the way we feel and the way we live. Color is everywhere, is in your clothes, in nature, is in decoration, in design around you. You will find color. Color inside a house or a space adds personality, adds individuality, and it reflects feelings. It is important to understand what each color brings to a space. So let's start with the white. White is a clean, pure, simple color to use in any space. White can expand the space. White brings a light to a room if the room doesn't have too much natural light. If you paint everything in white, it will add that clarity that you need in a space, but still you have to be careful if you use it too much, because it can cause glare to the eye. So it is important to not juggle, but to combine the white walls and ceiling, for example, with color furniture, decorations. It is important to combine everything so the environment is more coordinated and put together. When you use white in the walls, it is really important to keep it well maintained, because white walls can get stained easily, and that will make the space look not clean, not gonna look so good. So it is important to keep that in mind. I'm not saying don't use white, because it makes a huge difference in a lot of small places, but keep in mind that you have to be careful and you have to maintain it. The next color are the neutrals. Neutrals comes from the pastels and natural colors. Pastels like powder blue, rose pink, butter yellow, and then you have the naturals. Naturals are colors coming from the nature or from organic materials, like earthy tones, plants, wood. Difference between the whites and the neutrals is the neutrals, they have more a vast palette of color. They have more colors to bring to the table, and the colors can be warmer than just a simple white. That's the difference between white and neutrals. Neutrals, like I said, you can use earth tones, and that will be more warmer and bring nature inside the space that you are designing. The next on the spectrum is the red. So red brings passion, energy, and is a stimulating color as well. Is warm, is adventure, and is one of those colors that you have to be careful when you use it. But in a bottom line, red invigorates the metabolism on the appetite. So red is an excellent highlight and accent color as well. You can use to paint all the walls or a few walls, or you can use red to put in furniture, decorative accessories. But overpowering the red can bring some problems like headaches, for example. It is beautiful. It is a beautiful color. You should use red in your designs if you want to, but again, keep in mind that can lead to some problems if you overwhelming the space with the red. Be careful when you use it. Now, my favorite color, the blues. Blues transmit calm, transmit light. They can bring this serene feeling at the same time. It's a great color to use on bathrooms and bedrooms because of what it brings. Every place that you go, and if depending on the shade or tone of the blue that you use, you will notice that that room, that area, that space will feel more calm. But if you use too much blue, because it's a cold color, if you use too much blue, then the room, okay, it's serene, it's calm, but can feel a little bit more colder and less personal at the same time. So again, it is important to mix with other materials, with other colors. The next color is yellow. When I think about yellow, I think about what? Sunshine. It is a warm color. It brings happiness, joy. It's a really cheerful color. Yellow is a great color to use in a dark space or a north-facing room, because it will bring that warmth that you need when you cannot get it with for example, direct sunlight, because the sunlight will bring the warmth that you need, but that's not possible in every single room in a space. So you see, that's why bringing the color to a space can change the things that you don't have the control on it. You cannot control, if you have a space and you cannot control how much a direct natural light it comes inside, you will use the color to bring that extra that you need, to bring the warmth, to bring the coziness. Now let's jump to the greens. Greens, they are directly connected to nature. They are a color of positivity. They are a color of growth, of healing, of calming. It is a great color to use when you know how to balance with the rest of the environment. I'm pretty sure I said this in the previous video, but like, for me, green brings the outdoors inside. Green brings nature to inside the space. But is a cool, like the blue is a cold color. Again, juggle with other colors or with furniture, with decoration. It's everything. Color has to have a combination. When choosing colors for the walls, you have to be considerate of what they feel and what else will you bring to the room, to combine everything, to make a cohesive feeling of what you want for that room. Next color is purple. Purple, it brings sophistication, luxury, creativity, joy, but can be overpowering as it can be, because it's a strong, most of the time dark color. You have to think about, like I said in the previous video, you have to think about the dimension of the room in order to use the purple. It is important. Now, last but not least, we have the gray. The gray is not my favorite color to paint walls on everything. It's not that I don't use gray. I use gray, but I'm not a fan of gray. But gray is an elegant color. It is a neutral color. It can be either warm or it can be cold. If you want to use some specific bold color on the furniture, if you mix it with the gray wall, then it will not look overwhelming. The furniture will not take over for all the space, because you have the gray to balance everything. I keep bringing the warm and cooler colors. Let me break down a little bit which one are the warmers and which one are the coolers. Warm colors advance the space, red, yellow, and orange. Cooler colors, on the other side, recede space. It will expand the space. And those are green, the blues, and the purples. Now, which one are the ones that you have to be really careful with? The ones that can be powerful and overwhelming are the reds, the yellows, the purples, the blacks, and the oranges. Those 5 colors you have to be in consideration when you use them, because it can be overpowering. Then it can make people feel claustrophobic, make people feel too tight. For example, in a small space, in a small or narrow place, I wouldn't advise you to use a overwhelming color like this, because they will not feel that comfortable in that space if you don't apply the balance that you need, the balance and proportion that those colors need to have in consideration. Now, for each space, each division, you have to consider the purpose of the room, the dimension of the room, the natural light and everything. First, establish the purpose. On the living room, what will you do on the living room? You're gonna watch TV, you're gonna use for hobbies like reading a book, knitting, for example, play games, entertain family and friends, to conversation. That's the purpose of most of the time, the purpose of the living room. So the color of the living room needs to be versatile, because there are too many things that can happen. You're not gonna be the only one. Most of the time, you're not gonna be the only one you use it. Some other people you will use it. It is important to make the color palette more versatile, and use, for example, fabrics. Fabrics bring that warm feeling, that cozier feeling, to make the space more comfortable. Sometimes it's a place that you spend a lot of time. For me, for example, I think the living room is the place that I spend most of time in my house, besides the kitchen, because I'm always cooking. So yes, good colors for the living room are purples, white, gray, and green. Those are good colors to use on the living room. Now for the kitchen. What is the purpose of the kitchen? Like everybody knows, it's to cook. Sometimes it's a place to social gathering at the same time. If you use it together and to talk while you're cooking or someone else is cooking, then you have to have that in consideration too. It's not going to be that versatile like the living room, but it will be a little bit if someone else using, not just you. Good colors for the kitchen are yellow, white, greens. Sometimes I didn't mention the browns, but the furniture most of the time will be made of wood, so we have that brown on the kitchen too. And you have to take in consideration the electronics as well. They're going to be most of the time in steel, unless you paint in another color, unless you have a smeg beautiful fridge in a great color. But for the general, you have the steel for the kitchen, so that has to come in consideration. If you have a kitchen with wood cabinets and with the steel electronics, then the color that you use on the walls has to combine with all of those other factors as well. And yellows, greens, and reds are good color to use on the kitchen. The red, like I said before, stimulates the appetite, so it's a great place to use the red, is in the kitchen or in the dining room. If you have the kitchen and the dining room in the same area, a good idea is to combine those two spaces with the same color. You can have a darker shade of red on the living room, the light one on the kitchen. For example, if you have the dining room separated for the kitchen, then you can go bolder. You can use bold colors in the dining room, because dining room is not a place that you're going to use in a long period of time like the living room, for example, because you're going to go to the dining room is used for just that, to eat and to chat, but you're not going to stay as much on the dining room because you're gonna sit on the chair. It's not gonna be comfortable after a while. So in the dining room you can use for sure the reds, and you can go bolds, and you can use mirrors or wallpapers on the dining room. If the kitchen and the dining room are in the same place, you can combine. For example, you can have the tiles on the kitchen, and then you can have something combining something that connects with that tile in the wallpaper, for example, in the dining room. You have to juggle between those two spaces if they are together. If they are separated, then like the dining room is the place to go wild. Dining room is the place that you can go wild, and you can use all of those overwhelming colors. Now on the bedrooms. The bedrooms, there are 3 different types of bedrooms that you have to have in consideration. You have your own bedroom, you have the kids' bedroom, and you have the spare bedroom or guest bedroom. Those 3 areas can have different color palettes. In your own room, you can use the color that appears more to your personality. Blue are a good color to use on a bedroom. Greens are a good color to use on a bedroom. A bedroom is a place that you go to relax, to chill, to sleep. Some people use it to watch television, although I don't like that idea as much. But you depend on what you do on the bedroom. You spend the amount of time that you spend there can be different for each person. Some people use it more often, others just go there to sleep and to relax, others use to watch TV, to read, and so on. So if it is your own, then you can, like I said, use the colors that will relax you, that it will make you in a lower energy. Now for the kids, even for the kids, there are different ages. You have the nursery, you have the toddlers, and then you have the teenagers. Still kids. Room for me, teenagers are still kids. That's my opinion. In the nurseries, the best color to use are pastels because they are soft. They bring the warm, but not too overwhelming. It's a place for the babies to relax, to feel calm, to sleep most of the times. So the pastels are a great color to use on nurseries. For the toddlers, then you can go up a little bit more and play a little bit around what they need, what they like. You can use some greens, some blues, put a dash of orange and red here and there. In my opinion, not in the walls, but on the decorations. Yes, for the linens on the bed, for pillows, for picture frames, then you can use a dash of color, but don't overwhelm it because it's still a place for kids. Plays the most for kids. It plays 2 roles: to sleep and a place for them most of the time to play. So that's the reason why it's good to have a color, because they're going to spend a lot of time there, and it will make a fun place for them to be. You can paint the walls, or you can draw things that you know that they like, characters, some flowers, some plants, some trees, some animals. Kids' room is a great place to be creative and to play along with the type of kids they are, with their personality. It's a really I think like kids' room are the most fun areas to decorate, because you can go wild but not overwhelming, just fun and creative, in my opinion. Then the teenagers, you have to consider more mature colors. Again, blues and greens, some and whites, of course, too, but it has to be more mature, less childish, less bold color. But It will depend on the teenager. At the same time, it will depend on the teenager, because on the teenager you think you know everything and you want to go wild and do wild stuff on the bedroom. Sometimes you can choose what we're going to put on the teenager's bedroom. Other time you have to really be strict to their personality, to things that they love. I remember when I was teenager, my parents would allow me to paint the walls, and I had this white wall with dark brown furniture that I hated, but I could not change or choose myself. So I was wild, and I put it on every single part of the walls. Poster from singers. I had so many boys band on my walls, and then I put some pictures of my friends as well. So my bedroom was a mess. So please take in consideration what your teenager like, and try to work with them a little bit, just a little bit, to see what they like, what they don't like. And please don't allow them to put posters all over the bedroom, because me now thinking back then, it didn't look good. But it looked, for me, it looked more like me, because I wasn't allowed to change nothing else. And a dark wood, a dark color in a teenager's bedroom doesn't do anything good, at least in my opinion, I think. Now you have the bathrooms. On the bathrooms, what is the purpose of the bathroom? Is to relax most of the time is to take a shower, take a bath, is a place to take care of yourself. So it's a place to take care of yourself. It's a place that you're not going to use for a long period of time. You can add multiple colors, or you can add blues, you can add lilac, you can add greens. You can even have some oranges and reds. I'm not saying the walls, depend on the size of the wall of the bathroom, but on the accessories, on the rugs, on the curtains, use a red with the gold, use a red with the silver. It will bring the elegance and sophistication to your bathroom for sure. Depending on the size, you just have to have that in consideration. If it is narrow space, don't overwhelm it. Don't use bold colors. Then stick to the blues, the greens, and the lilac or purple. But if it's expanded space, if it's a broadened space, then you can use some bold colors. You can use the bold colors on the walls, or just in accessories. It depends on your taste, and depends on who will use the bathroom at the same time, because there are different types of bathroom. You have the bathroom for all the people that comes inside the house. You have a bathroom, suite bathroom, for example, is just for the person on that bedroom. Then it can be more personal. You have to have all of those points in consideration. Now, the hallways or the entrance. The hallways and the entrance are the first thing that people see most of the time when they come inside a space, inside of house. And most of the time, there are narrow spaces. So, what is the purpose of the hallway? Just to come inside, to pass by. Just to pass by. That's the only purpose. Most of the time, the only purpose of the hallway or the entrance is a place that you go and you leave your shoes, your umbrellas, your coats, your keys. So you're not gonna stay there for a long period of time. It's a short period of time. It's just a passage. Depending on the size of the hall or the entrance, then you can choose the colors. Most of the time, it is good to have a light color, because it will open your house or open your space in with a different feeling. Will transmit the feeling of calm, light, and welcoming. It will be more welcoming if the color is a light color. You can use some reds and some yellows and some purples, but depending on the size. Another important fact about hallways, not entrance in this case, more about the hallways, that you have to be in consideration with the adjacent spaces, because sometimes the halls are the passage to another room and they have to combine with each other. You cannot just paint a hall. You can if you want to, just you, but it will look more put together and more complete if you think about the other spaces that the hallway are opening. If you combine the colors in the hallway with the other space, imagine if you have, for example, if you have a hallway that opens to bedrooms, for example, opens to bathrooms, opens to the living room, you have to have it in consideration. It has to be more neutral depending of where they open to. And now last area to talk about are the workplaces or study places, if you have one. If you have a particular area or particular space that is just for work, if you work for home, for example, again, think about the purpose. The purpose is to work or to study. If it is for you and someone else, make it more neutral, more versatile. When I say versatile, I'm referring to more neutral, like whites or grays, or some blues. Can be some blues, some greens. You can use black, white. You can use wood. But keep in mind, if you use a black, if you're gonna use a black in the wall, don't go bananas and use on all walls, please. That will be so overwhelming, and it will be less possible for you to maintain the focus if you have everything in, for example, in every walls in a black color. For me, I think it will be, Jesus Christ, no. But if it's just one accent wall, if it's a broadened space, an accent color on one wall, that's okay. You can use that black wall, for example, like I have with all of those boards that I have here on my living room, with my goals, with the things I have to do, with notes for people that I love. You can use that black wall and that with that in mind. It's possible. What you want to feel, if you want to be more peaceful, you choose a blue. If it's not about the feeling peaceful, you just want to feel surrounded by nature, use a green. If you would just need a place with light, white walls are perfect. Use tons of wood because that makes the room cozier too. So each room has a purpose. You have to have in consideration if it's just you using or someone else will use it, how often other people will use it. The size of the room is important. The sunlight that comes inside that space is important. When you choose a color, you have to have in consideration what other colors will come to that space. Colors combining with accessories create an identity. The colors that you choose for the walls, in consideration with the furniture, with the decoration, with the accessories that you put on inside the area that you are decorating, they need to combine with each other. They will create a family color. That's the purpose. Create a family color. Colors that combine with each other. Colors that complement each other. If you pick two, I'm not saying this is the strict rule, but it's good for you to pick like two main colors and then work around those two main colors. Other colors that complement those. You can use different shades, different tones. You can go warmer, you can go cooler, but using two main colors is a great way to stick to something that is not going to be overwhelming, something that's going to something that is not going to be too much to your eyes. And when choosing colors for the walls or for the furniture and accessories and everything, something else that you have to take in consideration are the woodwork, the floor, the ceiling, the skirt panels, the windows, the doors. Everything comes together. You can paint the doors, you can paint the ceiling, you can paint everything, but if you don't want to paint it, if everything is in a wood tone, for example, and you don't want to paint, then the colors that you choose to paint the walls, the color that goes on the decorations has to complement the everything around. In the next video, after I finish the series of the factors of colors, the factors that you need to have in consideration when using color, I will explain you a little bit more about color combination and the tools that I have to help me combine in a balanced way colors. There are some free tools that you can use, and it's gonna make everything easier when choosing and when combining colors, and I will share with you. So stay tuned to next videos, people. Okay, you know the feeling that you want to pursue with the color. You know the purpose of the area, but still you're not sure about the colors. You can grab some sources of inspiration, and there are different places that you can go to get inspired. You can think about some period in history that you like, for example, from the 19th century. If we go to neoclassic period, the colors most used on that period of time was the white base color, the pale and the medium greens, the lilac, and some pink. On the other side, if we think about Gothic revival, then we think about more greens, more taupe, saffron, those kind of colors. If you think about this, a specific style, you have Art Nouveau, for example. I love Art Nouveau. I love the lines, the elements and everything about Art Nouveau. So in Art Nouveau, the color that were more used was some peacock blues, jade, some bronze, some brass. On Art Deco, you had champagne, you had pink, you had black and white, a great amount of use of mirrors, of glass too. There are many other periods styles. One thing to keep in mind, it is possible to use things from the past and bring it to the future, to the present time, and make them modern at the same time. You can use, it's not impossible. It's not like, oh my god, back in the days they used so many bright colors, I cannot use them here in the modern time because the furniture are different. But there are ways to combine it with balance. If you remember everything that I told you before about the compositions, about the balance, about the purpose, the feelings that you want to transmit, it is possible to bring things from the past and put it in nowadays and still be modern. I'm here with this bug annoying me, Jesus Christ, so sorry. Other place to seek for inspiration is in different countries. For example, I live in Portugal. Here you use tiles. We use a lot of tiles, and the tiles have they have different types of tiles with most of the times blues, some greens, I remember some beige, and that can be a source of inspiration too. For example, in Africa, you have more earthy tones, you have the reds, you have the yellows, you have some greens. You can be inspired by that too. in the Caribbean, they are more focused on colors that resemble colors from the fruits. Yellows, you have oranges, you have pinkish orange, another color that comes from the fruits. I'm thinking about another country, for example, Italy, for the Tuscan. I think Tuscan, that's how you say it. Tuscan, when I think about Tuscan, I think about more warm colors like reds, I think about browns, oranges. Those are the colors that pops in my mind when I think. So you can use other countries' colors to inspire you to create your space. And you can go to Nia Creative Home Pinterest. You will find there color combination. You will find inspiration as well, because I have a ton of content there to help you out to choose, to get inspired too. Another great place to go are the decoration magazines, decoration books, pieces of furniture, decorations. I'm bringing you guys some images of a friend of mine's house. For example, you have this fabric on the wall, and with this piece of fabric, choosing some colors of it and incorporate on your color palette for that room, for a living room, for a study room, for, I'm saying for a bedroom because it has the reds and everything, but for the places that you don't, or for the dining room, for example. It's a great way to get inspiration too. You can have inspiration for other people's house too. If you go to some friend's house and you see a piece of furniture, or if you see a color that inspires you, you can do it too. I have these 3 examples to give you guys. 3 friends of mine, and they live, all of them live in the same area in Sintra. But they have different types of houses, different architecture, and different color palette. So one of them, she lives closer to the coastal, she lives closer to the ocean. So for her house is more a typical house in the countryside. The colors that I think when I'm thinking about her house is the blues, the white, a lot of whites, the brown furniture, because she's using furniture from her mother. So a lot of browns, a lot of wood, some reds on the floor too. She has reds on the floor, and then the walls white. From my other friend, he lives close to the ocean too, but his house is more modern, and the architecture is inspired by boats. It is amazing. It's a beautiful house. I have to ask him to take some pictures and to show you guys. His house is beautiful. It is really beautiful. He has on the living room, everything is in wood. The floor is wood, the walls are wood, the ceiling are wood, the windows are windows from boats. And he brought a lot of stuff from Nepal as well, because he do some exhibitions with pieces from Nepal to help people around Nepal as well. And in his house, when I remember about his house, is a lot of browns, a lot of wood, some reds, some oranges, a little bit of green on pieces of furniture, not pieces of furniture, a lot of green on decorations. That's the main he has a lot of things with brass as well, some with the goldish color too. So it's a really warm place to be. I really like it. The last friend that I'm gonna give you guys example, her house is inspired by African houses. She used to live in South Africa, so she brought a lot of African pieces and furniture. So everything and her house is wood around the house, like outside and inside is wood. The floor are the only place that don't have wood, has this red tile on the floor. So the colors are browns, red, yellows, some splashes of blue too. Her bathroom is just white and with some splashes of colored too. So you see, everything can be used to inspire. Nature can be used to inspire. There's a diversity of flowers, diversity of trees with different kinds of green that can bring you inspiration too. If you give the time, the effort, and the research needed, you will combine the perfect color palette for your space that will reflect your feeling, that will reflect your personality, and will be easier for you to achieve your goals when designing a space. It is important to have in consideration color. It's important to have in consideration the type of materials that you use, because everything combined will create the comfortable place that you want to achieve for sure. Take notes, come back to this video as often as you need it to understand how to use everything. And I will post on future a PDF explaining on topics so that you can use in the future when you decide to paint any space that you want to make everything easier. I will do that. I will create this PDF to help you out choosing and to have every topic, everything that you have to go around to understand, and to have a complete balanced color palette for your space. Don't worry. As always, have your back, people. To wrap up this video with this so many content that I give you right now, remember that each color carries a different energy, different feeling, different mood and sensation. There are different places to get inspiration from. You have to think about the purpose of the room, and you have to combine everything according to the feeling and the harmony that you need to achieve in the different places that you want to decorate, that you want to design. With all said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it brought you a lot of good content, knowledge that will help you in the future when you're designing your spaces. As always, if you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, save this video on your playlist to check it out on another time if you need it. If you have something to share, to comment, if you want to see other topics on this channel, please leave a comment down below. I will respond to you, and I will take in consideration every suggestion that you guys give me in order to create a community of creative people, in order to help you out achieve the perfect design. Thank you for watching the video. See you next time. Watch this other video. Pretty sure you're gonna find some good content as well, and you're gonna learn a lot. And knowledge is power. Take care. Bye.